This conference will now be recorded.
According to the last according to the last board meeting, the attorney reported that ADT it's moving ahead.
Okay.
It's moving forward.
Okay,
And
but
whatever
we
they're
don't
doing,
have an actual court date yet, though.
Yeah.
Tony brought that up.
Huh?
Tony brought that up at the Gateway Services.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, Gateway Services. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just for the record, so everybody knows, it's Tony Piers. I know it looks elsewhere, but it's Piers, and he likes it said that way too. Trust me, he really does, okay? In fact, one time I spelt it out phonetically for the guard at our front gate. I actually got an email thanking me for making sure that the guard at the front gate said it correctly. So just, that's how important it is to him. The money that we did receive, I did receive an email. We were made aware that was some money received. It was in hundreds of dollars. Did it go into the 004 account? I never had any confirmation of that. Unless you know something, Warren, that I know.
I'll check.
Okay.
Laura would know, or it would be Marilyn. Check.
Yeah, because I want to make sure it didn't go into the 001 or what you call the general account that in fact we did get it hitting our account. Something else, but I know this is going to be a subject and it's not going to be, I understand that we have issues with our electrical boxes for the aerators by our lakes.
Yes.
And I understand that there will be an effort by your in-house electrician to put in new electrical boxes, correct?
Mine is.
Oh,
It was on.
mine was off.
Can you hear you now?
Most people don't have a problem hearing.
Can you hear me now?
On is up.
No, what we're not doing in-house. What
Oh,
I've
you're
done,
not.
no, what we had to do is since Billy is tied up on utility stuff so much, we hired Bentley. We issued a PO this week on it because the money I had transferred over at the last board meeting to cover the cost of the aerators.
That's right.
We're going to do the 6 in Stoneybrook first. They're the worst,
Mhm.
but also we're going to have Bentley go ahead and just do it all because I'm going to run into issues probably in different neighborhoods where permits might have to be pulled with FP&L, and we're not going down that
All right,
road
as long
because
as we're not paying for some of that, we're just paying
No,
for
no,
ourselves. Now,
no.
the question I have, I think you mentioned to me, Warren, that one of them was pretty good that you looked at.
Yeah, I just pulled it up here now. It's over on Gemstone. It looks like a whole brand new operation.
We did do a new one over there. That is correct.
Okay,
Uh,
that wasn't a brand new one, but
Billy did that one a while back because it was
Okay.
worse, but
nice job.
Elle and
Nice
I
to
went
do
and
it.
identified and that type of a box we're using because it's a, what we call like a PVC box. It's
Yeah.
like plastic base, not,
So it won't rust
so it
out.
won't rust out.
What
The
about,
whole thing looks just
Yeah.
really good, really does.
what about as far as moisture getting in, rainwater and whatnot?
It won't because it's sealed and it'll be locked and we'll put a lock and key on it where we'll have access to it, but you won't have people no more that can just walk up and, because some of these won't, they won't even lock no more as they're rusted out so bad.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear that. That
What
sounds
about
good.
the rust aspect of that new box here? 'Cause when I looked it up-
He just answered that.
It's a PVC type of box.
Okay.
they
I'm
don't
sorry,
rust.
I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
It's
else.
okay. Billy recommended going with this, with a gray bar. And we have some, it's like a hardened plastic. It's called PVC.
Okay,
So you're out of the rust business.
yeah, I was gonna say that box was just really a nice looking operation. I mean,
So
really compared
the
to
total number of boxes is 7?
No, I think we have 6 to do in there. Then there's
Yeah,
one.
but total number is 7 and we've replaced 1, so we have 6 more to do.
Correct.
Okay.
7
Do-
total.
There will be total. One's already
Yeah,
done.
We have 7 boxes, there's
Yeah.
7 lakes. And
Yeah.
we have aerators for each one.
Right.
The, do we have a rough idea on cost for this?
Mhm.
And that number is?
I just transferred $19,500 over to cover 8 boxes.
All right,
$23.50 a piece. And that's if I don't have to end up pulling permits and running onto electrical service. Because once I go that route, which I might have to in another neighborhood, not yours.
Yeah.
Because if they won't agree upon what we have that Lennar turned over to us, then your FP&L involved, then it goes price range anywhere probably 5 to 10 grand per pop. But I won't know that until we get down the road, and it won't be this year because I don't have the money for it. It'll be starting in October. with
Okay.
those. The good news is with the ones your guys doing first, we don't have to worry about all that because our stuff, it's there. You don't need to get with FP&L involved. So Bentley can handle changing the boxes out one at a time.
Have the current boxes been moved over, the billing for that electricity that's being used by the aerators? Has it been moved over to the Gateway account? Is it currently being paid by Gateway?
Correct.
It is.
I think we have one with irrigation on it or something,
One.
but it's across. Yeah, we have one with irrigation. The rest of them are all over into our Gateway services.
The one
billing's
is
been
by
done.
Ivory Stone that has, and I know what happened there. The irrigation along the back burn between us and Hampton Park was done after the fact. And
Okay.
they ran the line down there and tapped into the box. Otherwise, that was there. But I do want to point out, I have made copies of, and I have one if you'd like to see it, of what a typical electric bill is for the irrigation systems.
Okay.
And it runs around $12, $13. And the reason that it's even that high is there's a basic service charge for each box. So the amount of electricity that's actually getting used there is just a few dollars, very few dollars. And we only have that one that it really overlaps. You would have had that basic electrical service box fee anyway. And I want to add one other thing, because I don't think if anybody here knows it, I know it because I've been here forever. And the sign on the corner of 82 and Gateway used to say Stoneybrook at Gateway on it. And they came to us and wanted us to pay about $30,000 to $40,000 to fix it because the sign was in bad repair. It wasn't well built. And I said, no, because it's not our sign. It's not on our property. That is Gateway property. And I said, if it's because it says Stoneybrook on it, take the Stoneybrook off. Well, they did. They put Gateway on it. And there's lights there that shine on that every night, and there might be a couple of things at Christmas time. Well, an electrical box was never installed for that. We've been paying the electrical for that all these years. Not a lot of money, but I'll bet you it's probably about what that one box, that what we hooked up for irrigation to that one box over there by Ivory Stone. And I'm suggesting that possibly we consider that a washout.
I probably agree with that because Tony's doing some drafting for the same type of deal with another development where you continue to pay this bill, we'll go ahead and take the maintenance of the whole thing. So what I could do is,
And we're talking nickel dime
yeah,
stuff here,
so-
we really are.
we'll pull it up. And if you're talking that when we get to that box, then yeah, then we just leave status quo. And
Exactly.
because to me, it's
And,
like,
and you guys will be paying for that box, even
Yes.
with the irrigation hooked up, and we'll pay for the light out there.
what I'm trying to get out of is having to run a whole brand new home run,
No question.
which is all new electrical service, new meter and all that, because with FP&L, that's a 6 to 12 month process. If you're not aware of it, it takes
Fees,
forever.
permits, and the cost is could change.
Yes, yes.
Everybody comes out ahead, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so
All right?
I will look into that, but I'm not speaking for the district, but I'm kind of basically saying I do agree because it's probably a wash.
Okay.
Not much.
So therefore, just by bringing that up at this point, at this meeting, I don't have to contact Tony.
No, I'll
You
take care of
guys
it.
will take
I'll
care of
take
it. Okay, I appreciate that.
Because we only had the one in there anyway with the irrigation on it.
Okay, now it comes up, I know there's gonna be a cost putting new boxes in, and for those of you that aren't aware of it, apparently we're responsible for the electrical boxes that are at the lakes. And so that cost technically becomes ours, possibly Stoneybrook at Gateways rather than this committee, because that's not really something that we should even technically be having to deal with. We overlook the Gateway-owned property along Pebblebrook and the 004 fund. And in any case, the bill has always been sent to Castle. Prior to that, our prior management companies for the electric on these boxes. It could be a substantial amount of money. And I'd like to know if you have any idea if Tony is aware of the magnitude of what's gone on here for 14 years.
I have to ask him that one.
Okay, because I don't think he does.
Electrical boxes.
Because you're looking at between $200 to $300 a month, 12 times that for all those years. I gotta say, it'll more comfortably exceed the $18,000 that we're talking about spending on those boxes. I think you might still owe us some money.
I think it goes back like 3 to 4 years, as far back as they'll go on that. That's what I've been told.
Well, I would agree with that when there's an outside vendor. But when you're the party that actually does the work, does the whatever, and is responsible, and then bills us for it, I think that that 4-year limitation may not apply. I understand and I'm a little upset still about the ADT being limited because we had nothing to do with that. That really was a gateway mistake. We weren't even aware that that was happening, that this account, and when it showed up on our budget, it was coded as utility. And in 2 subsequent years, and JT's not here, but some of you probably remember, I did question, why is the electric bill? Because I thought that's what utility is. I know that the water that gets used at the gatehouse gets paid through the water bill to the clubhouse. So it's 1 meter for that purpose. So the only other utility was electric. And I even questioned this past budget. And I said, how is it possible that that little building has a higher electric bill than I do at my house with 4 bedrooms and a pool? And it's not possible. That's what it comes down to. Even if you ran the air conditioner 24 hours a day and had the doors wide open. It's been going on for a long time. I would say I've been here since early 2010.
Is this at the guardhouse itself?
This is at the gatehouse itself, the guardhouse, whatever. I've been here since early 2010. Margaret's aware of the situation, although she's not on the Board of Supervisors anymore. At no time during that time period did any contractor, any proposal for ADT ever come across my hands, I'll tell you that. I don't know how it got started. No one seems to know. When the issue came down to what the contract said, I didn't know, I never saw one. So they went and looked. We looked in our offices, and I believe you have looked in the offices here. There is none. I don't know how it got started. I can speculate because there was an ADT contract here at Gateway for this building. I'd love to know who was paying for that, if you know what I'm saying.
I'll look into it.
Thank you. With that said, the electric bill, we're gonna dig up, we're gonna come up with a number. I will contact Tony on that.
Okay.
Okay?
Just keep me in the loop.
I'm gonna throw it, because this is really getting billed through the HOA, not through here. This really was not, the electric was not through here. It really isn't a committee issue. It's a HOA issue for Stoneybrook, and I think that, and Chris, as you probably remember, is the current president, and he'll be contacting Chad, our new treasurer, and hopefully they come up with things. And I understand, I was told that for SPL to initiate investigating and getting into this and seeing what the numbers really are, we have to be the one to initiate it. So I'm just, for the record, saying that we got to do that, okay?
Okay.
With that said, I don't have anything else
Well,
on the agenda.
I'm personally curious because I listened to the meeting when it was brought up
Mhm.
a couple of months ago. I still would like to know now as a board member, also if we're going to be able to review the survey that Flavia Walsh and the group of committee was on, how will that be either like a public knowledge, or will the board be able to receive that copies of those surveys?
I think you got to talk to the expert on request for public information.
To your left.
Okay. Because we need to.
And I
we
think
still
you
need
can
to
get
see
it that way,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, it's quicker to go through customer care, public record request.
Yeah,
And if it's if they have it on a computer, Georgia usually handles it. and you'll get it within a couple hours at most, as long as it's available.
She finds it, she'll have it.
Yeah, she does.
And she's good.
Yeah.
You've got a
Okay.
good staff back there.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you.
do think so.
They're doing good. They
Yeah.
just, if we got it, we'll find it.
Lots of, not
Between her-
everything.
The big issue is
Has not
if they
always
got
been the
it.
case.
Between her and Elle, most of the time we'll find it.
So before I go to the comments by the audience or the members of the committee, you have something for us.
Yeah, Georgia sent out something yesterday. I think they copied all of you folks that Maryland has asked the committee, one person on your committee to take the role and make any edits to the official minutes. That will be the official record. That version will go into the meeting for approval and also to the board's meeting agenda consent items.
So we're going to take it off the responsibility of right now the management company has been listening to.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys,
Since you're going to have all that practice as being secretary of the HOA, this should be nothing.
Will I have to listen to the recording to make the minutes, or I'm just going back?
you could probably listen to the recording. Basically, she says I've been asking me to be more streamlined because apparently not everything is coming over clearly and they can't interpret it. So they would like somebody that is here to either take the minutes or once the meeting's over, and go through it and make sure everything was recorded. So that way we're not missing anything.
There was a time in the past, I'm sorry, there was a time in the past, the minutes were taken by somebody in staff out here. But I do understand and we do appreciate it, and we'll see what we can do. And I suggest maybe taking some notes and minutes here, but then she will need access to the recording, I guess.
Okay, so, yeah, Marilyn just asked who's gonna take the lead role.
But I'll be able to listen to the recordings, because when I'm involved at the meeting, I don't take
That's
as
not-
many notes.
She's still gonna do the minutes.
Oh, she is?
Mhm.
Okay, so she'll be in contact with. And I do have to admit, yeah, they were probably getting almost too much information, too much words, verbatim type
Things were
things.
added.
Yeah.
Said at the meeting,
Okay.
Okay,
so she
Or-
wants what was said at the meeting, so that's what the minutes are.
okay. So I can review that.
So you'll be
Yes.
the-
Yes,
Okay,
You're the designated person.
yes.
thank you.
I don't know everybody's name.
Angela
Angela.
Sullivan.
All right, thank you.
Brian.
learning.
I know Brian.
I know Warren.
He's on the board member too.
Oh, nice. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we actually have 3 board members on our committee, which is unusual. Good thing we don't have a 4th, because that would be a forum then.
Yeah, that's
Trying
true.
to turn my volume.
So, all right, was that it then?
I had one other thing, and I was going to ask Warren before. It was brought to my attention on customer care on
Yep.
Gemstone's Court. Somebody took your sign out. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
We went and had to remove it because the base was busted off.
Wow.
Oh, they hit it good. We
That-
filled the hole back in.
Okay.
Do you want another one put in place? Because I know you're working on something else. And
well,
before I do that,
my concern is I can't see spending $1,000. We have to, the whole post would have to be
all the whole
replaced.
post is broke, so it had to be replaced.
$1,000 to replace the post, plus $45 to replace the sign. What sign is that?
Well, luckily, the no street parking sign, we salvaged it. I mean, the
Yeah,
sign's
okay.
salvaged. It's just the post
I
got broken off
just
the
have a hard
bottom.
time spending $1,000, and currently with what's going on with the board, and they're getting their the traffic engineer in to check the signs and all this kind of stuff for the law enforcement stuff that they say the sheriff wants. To spend that much money right now when we don't know what's going to happen within the next couple months.
You do know that's been done already. You're doing it a second
Yeah,
time.
I didn't even know it was getting done a second.
Yeah, well, since 2006, when the original law enforcement agreement was signed by the HOA, it all went through the county. The county did everything. Well, the county highway department said, I talked to Steve Jensen. He said, we're out of that. You got to go through the sheriff's office totally. Mr. Tinkle had gone through that, sounds like recently in doing this, and they told him he had to get a traffic engineer. These district's attorney mentioned that in other areas where he's working, where they're doing the same thing, the local law enforcement, everybody is saying you need a traffic engineer to come in. I don't think we have a problem. I think the only problem we may have is, when you read all the things that they look at on the signs, we have a couple signs that loosen some of the reflective stuff on it, but those signs are, Mickey Mouse charge wise.
Sign is the cheap part.
Somewhere along the line, in communicating with Lee County Sheriff's Office, there was a letter that came to us, and I'm not sure where it is, and what it basically said, very basically, we are a community with one entrance, a private community, and all we really needed to do was put one side at the entrance that said no parking on the streets.
And that was, I've got that from a conversation with the county, with Steve Jensen, when we were talking about this. I got that noted when we did this. And he said, if the county was the county road, they just about put the sign up. And I thought, wow, that'd be tough. But I did go through another community locally, Danford Lakes, when you drive in, they got one way in and there's a sign. It says no street parking. And you can drive around that whole community and you can't find another sign.
No, that's it. It
Yeah,
meets the requirement.
But again, it's nice to have the signs, reminds people, but I think we need to maybe, instead of spending $850 to $1,000 for a new pole at this point, maybe put it up on a regular pole for now until we do that. And that's something, board can decide, but if it gets down to the point where we have to, they say, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna leave those signs up, then.
The elevation is critical though, as I recall.
7 foot, yeah.
And,
Yeah, 7 foot to the
and
bottom.
I know the signs meet the requirement. In fact, if I remember correctly, the original signs that Lennar put in said 19 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And when we wanted to enforce the speed, we were told they had to be a minimum of 25.
Yeah.
And I believe you were president when we put those
Yeah,
signs.
county required that.
So that in effect, we know that
Yeah.
they met the standard at that point.
And
when we changed them out.
And in the agreement that we received, that the HOA received back in 2006, they
Which
made
is the
comment
core
in there, that all the signs, everything was the way it was supposed to be. The county engineer checked it, approved it, et cetera, et cetera. And with the type of signs we have, with the frames and stuff, that's not going to change. I know after Irma, I think we replaced some signs and we had to move some signs to get them down just a little bit because they were a little bit higher. But I know right now all those signs, because I've measured them myself. It don't take a PhD or a degree in engineering to take a tape measure and do that. Even if I'm handling the dummy end of the tape, then we still get a good measurement on it. But and I don't see a problem in that. But then again, I campaigned the other day trying to not spend money for a traffic engineer, but that got kind of shot down. And I think Gateway's supposed to be trying to find one to come in and do that. So that's what that's at.
Do you have any more poles? The simple basic pole left anymore?
I imagine I can find a U-guard pole if you want one there.
That's all
As a
right with
temporary
everybody. I
fix
just
for the
assume.
stop sign, for the no
We'll just put it back near the spot somewhere because problem is that pole leaves a sleeve in the ground. So we had to fill all that in there, the existing one, since it got broken off below ground.
What, just filling in with dirt?
That's what we did.
Okay.
Because that way nobody's gonna get hurt on it. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
took
yeah.
some truckload or wheelbarrow load or two down there and filled it all in. But I just want to make sure before we put a sign back, whether you want to spend that money, as I know where you're working on the other part. So
Yeah, it may or may not be necessary. We'll see. Let's just get a no parking sign up for as little money as possible. And anybody got a problem with that?
No, that's fine.
But I do have a question because I'm the one that sent that in and reported it. So what I saw was a car had scraped up to it. So obviously somebody backed out and kept pushing. I don't think they hit it coming around the corner. But in the process, when they leaned it over, did they only break the base? I didn't take a picture of the base. I just took leaning.
the bottom part, see that sleeve goes in the ground about 2 feet deep.
Okay.
When they hit it, we went to straighten it up, snapped in half.
I got you.
So
Do
we
we know who did it?
Goodness, okay. No, I didn't witness it. I just saw it.
So- Then it was like, all right, now the whole thing had to come out because it broke off about that far below the ground.
Didn't know that.
So
What about anybody over there on your street have a camera shooting out toward the street?
I didn't realize it was gonna go this far. I thought, oh, just lean it back over.
That's a
But
big,
it's not-
to me, that's a big problem.
I mean,
I'm
that's
sure a lot
damaged by a vehicle, so.
In a lot of the communities, we get a mailbox knocked down or we get a sign pole knocked down. People know who it is, but the HOA will take care of it. And that's El Toro Poo because, you know, we get a mailbox knocked down and we have to put the whole thing up as, with the villas. You're talking some big bucks. You're talking about $500 to get the whole thing put back in the way it should be. So I
I'll
think.
check with the neighbors.
Well, we can put in the typical U-guard with a sign on it. We'll have them, we can install that. There's no cost to that because we keep those by the bundles, but
Just to let you know, JT, sorry, because he's on the screen now. Yes, sir. We see you. Can we not hear you?
He's got to turn the mic to side. He has to turn the
I
mic
saw a
on.
green mic and now you're red mic.
I got George.
I saw you there.
I don't see him.
No,
Yeah.
no, you've got a red mic now. You had a green mic.
We got George, Vicky,
Oh.
Julie,
JT,
JT.
Yeah, he's been here, but he said now he's got to get off the phone and try it again.
Well.
Want to try it again? Yeah, I saw you here. I was going to bring it up at the end.
Okay, I didn't know.
Okay, thanks. Bye. He just wanted to make sure that you know.
Okay.
I saw the
George
green light.
JT.
How long?
He's
There
back.
it is.
I
Now
wasn't
he's
paying
green.
attention. I don't know if it's been half an hour. Yeah, he came in just a little bit late, but it's been there.
Okay,
It's just like
so
10
just for the
10 minutes
record,
late.
JT has called in, he is in there. And we talked about the electric bill and whatnot, JT, and I'll update you on that.
He
Not
said
gonna
he
do
heard
it now.
everything. He
Oh,
just
did
couldn't
he?
comment.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he's been on there for a while.
Yeah.
didn't know that. Do you have any comments about that? Are you, everything okay with you?
I don't think he
I
can
don't think he can
respond.
talk.
That's
Oh.
the problem.
I'm
He
gonna
can
say-
hear everything.
All right, well, gotta be a better way of doing this next time.
let's do this. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
He is there and it is green. And he can hear everything. He just can't respond.
Let's see.
Are you muted, JT?
No?
It's got,
Muted.
it's on. His mic's on. As
See, a
long
minute
as
ago
it's
when
green.
he talked to me, it went red because he was talking to me.
Yeah. If he's on his phone, it might be a problem with his phone.
Yeah, I had a problem on the other day in a conference and they couldn't hear me.
I'll get with George and find out. Might be a glitch.
All right, not a problem. All right,
Sorry,
what did
my
you hear
first
us? Essentially, unless you have something else for us.
No, that was the only thing, two things, because Marilyn requested that and I was just going to go over your,
Yeah,
So
I'm
if
gonna
I
go-
find out anything, call Brian or Marilyn.
for the street sign,
Yes.
just email me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start with Virginia. Got anything for us, Virginia? I'm sure Warren does. Go ahead.
I've done since Gateway Services utility people didn't count our trees in Stoneybrook, they only counted gateway trees. And since we're gonna have to be budgeting, I did a survey of the trees. And it was a pain because I had my dog with me and he did not want to sit still.
And he was not happy about
He
the
would-
big trees being.
Yeah, no, so we have a total, and this can vary, I'm sure, 233 palm trees. That includes all the ones along Pebble Brook and also the ones in the cul-de-sacs. We got several, we got 15 palm trees, mostly pygmy palms there. We have a total of 150 oak trees. And the reason I bring it up is because cost. And be thinking about it when we do our budget. It costs the villas just over $4,000 to do 211 queen palms. This
You talking
past
about
year.
trimming?
Yes, trimming.
Okay.
And if I heard you, your group mentioned the other day, you do the palm trees once a year and the oak trees about once every 3 years.
Correct.
Okay.
So typically we've been budgeting where your oaks, or not your oaks, but your palms, you get them for about 20 bucks a pop and
Yeah.
you get more like us, like more trees, you get a little cheaper.
Yeah, the
but
more trees you have, the
I
better,
would
the cheaper
figure
it gets because it brings down.
20 to 25 a palm tree.
And we paid, that being the villas, when we did our oak trees, we did 41 oak trees, and they're difficult because normally they raise the roof, the umbrella, and then they'll thin them out, but they gotta get climbers in there to do it, so it costs more. And we spent just over $5,000 to do 41 palm trees, or oak trees.
Oak trees.
Oak trees,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, oak tree top.
So that's just something to be thinking about for when we start doing our budget here within the next couple of months. Now, if you go down Pebblebrook, you'll see 3 or 4 trees that look ugly. They're falling apart, look like they're dead. according to our staff, Ellie, she says they are Hong Kong orchid trees. And I don't know why they would put, all the trees look great and those 3 or 4 just look
They
dead.
do look bad this time of year.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
I remember correctly, don't they come back?
They do.
Yeah.
This time of year, they're supposed to be, and
Yeah.
and Elle said this.
They'll come back. I had not, because there's a couple of them there that just have nothing. A
But
couple
when they
have
come
some
back,
stuff.
they are
Yeah.
beautiful trees.
Oh, yeah, no question, no question. That's why I thought maybe they were dead.
She just says that time of the year.
Yeah.
Goes
And
dormant.
then I mentioned to them about the palm tree by the lake, the Stone Valley Loop Lake, where they, when they did the restoration, that one palm tree there, they took out the original and then they put one in and that died. And then they put this one in and it died. And I'm thinking, and I know I've been communicating with Brian. I think the tree should be under warranty because it's less than a year that they had. And I would like to think that the people being Mainscape that put it in would put that in. If they don't put it in, I'd be more inclined just to grass it over and get our own landscaper.
Yeah, and I have to tell you something. Generally speaking, the roadway along Pebblebrook has been looking pretty good, but something is definitely wrong with irrigation there. We have some brown spots.
Well, yeah, it's
And,
true.
I don't know if we should let you
We
guys.
did have a 3-inch irrigation break, but I
Okay.
know currently that Mainscape is waiting on locates to fix.
Well, we're getting water down.
So what
there.
they do, shut that water off in those spots and that's what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting water down in that area there now because they put four trees in after they did the restoration, 4 palms. 3 of them are coming really good and just one just isn't coming. I mean, it's one spot. So I don't know if it's a dead spot.
Well, Elle said that's the second tree, I guess.
Yeah.
It must be something in the soil or something.
Yeah.
She goes,
Well,
my
well,
advice is probably not put another one in because it's just not going to grow.
Well, here's the problem. The first tree that was put in was actually hit and almost knocked over by the people doing with the equipment that were doing the lake restoration. And that tree had not been there that long. It was just starting to grow out of the top. They hit it, they stood it back up. You knew it wasn't going to make it. And so this is really the first tree that has died without no obvious cause. So that I don't know what to say about that. Maybe Elle's right. I don't know.
Well, we can try one more time with Mainscape. If it's under warranty, put another one in.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah,
Let's see
that
what they
would
can
be,
do.
yeah.
Because
And-
we were talking about that. I mean, and I'll have her check, but if it's under warranty, we can
Yeah.
try another one.
And there is a story about that irrigation, and I'm concerned about this because there was a call put in to the emergency line. Mainscape, I believe, was called about that leak in that 3-inch line.
Mhm.
Water ran all weekend long. And it
Yeah.
was a holiday weekend, as I recall, was it not?
Well, I think Mainscapes works 4/10s and they're
That's
off on
Friday?
Friday. And we called it in, or we went through customer care on Thursday afternoon. And Jim sent me an email Friday morning, said he reported it to
Mainscape the one.
Mainscapes, but they apparently didn't come out until Monday morning
Yeah,
to do
that-
anything.
I have a problem with that, I really do. A 3-inch line goes and the water's running nonstop, and it was just running right down the road and into the drains and washing
Well,
out.
it was mostly going out into that open area there between Stone Valley and it was really deep there,
Yeah.
even when we saw it, so it's been
It's going to
broke for
be
a
a
while.
tremendous amount of water. I don't know, and that's going to get ridiculous with our water bill for irrigation. This isn't our fault. I don't know what I could say here, but someone's got to step up and give us a hand on this. And I think that Mainscape for an emergency like that should respond a little bit sooner. And Thursday afternoon, I understand they doing 4/10s, but they must have somebody on call to handle emergencies. That
I'll
was-
check with
yeah.
Juan, find out if he has anybody.
Yeah.
If so,
Yeah, Jim said he'd email them or let them know on Friday, so.
In any case, that wasn't cool.
And one last thing I have is Pebblebrook needs to be swept, needs a sweeper to come up the road. And as I go around, I was looking at all the other, there's some other streets that need it too. Did some checking. I know Pelican has it done every so often, and they charge Pelican $4.25. And when I talked to Scott over there, he said that is billed through Gateway Services, and Gateway sets it up. I don't know how that works. I know, I don't think we have a contract.
We have a contract for a sweeper for Gateway Services.
Okay, that's the Sweeper Man of Southwest Florida.
We do if we need it.
Now, is it it's $425 that they billed Pelican, or that's how much to charge to have it at Pelican? Is that the minimum rate, or is there a different rate? Because like we would have
I imagine it's per hour.
per hour, so
Is
it's
that right
probably,
now? I would have
probably
to check.
pretty much the same thing. But I think we need to take a look at
Well,
that.
all the roads that Pelican has, I'm a little surprised. Do they do the whole community or just?
I don't know. I didn't get a chance to talk to
Any idea?
Scott.
Don't know.
But I think, this is another thing I think we need to be looking at for our budget to get that, because right now, there's just all kinds of leaves and stuff up and down the road, and it needs to be swept out, and I don't know what the
trees
cost.
dropped a lot of leaves. It's been dried.
Yeah.
There's been debris that fell from various trees.
And if-
in the rain gutters.
If no one has a problem, I don't have a problem calling Sweeper Man to find out what the cost would be to do it here, before we, do something.
And do you know the last time we had it done, so we can figure out, are we doing this twice a year?
No,
No, it's been done as we needed.
Yeah.
Only
And I think,
The wind tends to blow it away sometimes. Rain washes a lot of it away, so.
yeah, and I think a
We've
lot of
done
the
it,
leaves and stuff are
but not
going
on a
down
regular
into
basis.
the sewer system too, so that's where all ends up. But I think that's something we need to take a look at, to do that. And I don't know what the cost would be, per time to do that, but, and some of the side streets look really bad. So others look fine. I mean, unfortunately, I drove all of them and got a little
remember which
concerned
one it
about
was.
some of the stuff that goes on the back street. But I think that's something we need to take a look at. And if we don't do anything now, the budget for it, for next year. And I'd like to see something get done now, but again, I don't know what the cost would be, or where the money would have to come out of one of our funds.
But the sweeper is out of the 004.
Yeah, it would come out of the 004 fund, yeah, because it'd just be doing the streets. The roadways.
I do want to say something about the trees that we came up before about trimming those trees. Technically, those trees are really HOA responsibility. I don't know what to say as far as trimming goes. Something we need to talk about. So before we really get really heavily into that.
When I counted the trees, between the roadway and the bushes. Anything on the back side of the bushes went to the resident. I didn't count those.
The understanding is that if they're beyond the sidewalk, but we'll need to talk about that.
Yeah, well, when I measured the right of way pretty much from the center on each side, I think it's 80 feet total. And it just takes it right to about the edge of the bushes.
I'm not sure where you're getting that 80 feet figure from, because I thought that's still the same thing as it is on the other streets, which
No,
is
60 on the other streets.
my understanding was 40, 20 on
I'd
the
have to
road.
check. Most likely your roads are either 20 or 25 feet.
They're 20-foot wide roads. The roads are 20.
So you're probably getting 20 to 25 foot from center line each direction.
Oh,
So it's probably either 40 feet or 50 foot right of ways. Most time those small streets are 40, if I had to
Yeah,
guess.
I'm pretty sure that's what ours are.
And your big one might
And
be
our-
60
even
on
our,
Pebblebrook
and
or
our
80.
main street is only 25, 20 feet wide too. It's anything
12.
wider than the side streets. The issue is the easement any wider? That's.
yeah, that includes easement. That's the easement there too. And of course, he asked me a question. I didn't bring my sheet on I got the DO with the diagrams and stuff of what the distances are for the different roads.
The actual development order?
Huh?
The development order, the original, I have it
Yeah,
somewhere too. Pelican, I'm not sure about. But I think we did discuss that in those other discussions that we have about who's responsible.
Track A,
for
the
what.
track B.
Yeah,
Yes.
you might want to double check that, and see what you come up with, because.
Okay.
That's something we need to sit down with a couple of board members and the new treasurer about who's gonna pay for what going forward. So,
Yeah, I got that down. We wanted to get a meeting together with him.
I didn't mean to skip over Angela. Do you have anything?
I don't know who I asked before, but someone had brought up about the mulch. About it either going down in April or May on Pebble Brook. So, and then someone else said that, oh, it doesn't go down at all right now, that it's not planned for mulch? Or is it the pine straw?
We did not
Hasn't
do,
been done.
we did not do pine straw down Gateway. We took a year off because I was spending way too much money on cleaning the stormwater system out.
Okay.
We probably did an extra $25,000 to $50,000. Then with this road move kicking in,
Okay,
we just did not do it. We held off.
As far as we do, I believe we do ours every 6 months, as I recall. And it's part of the contract with Mainscape.
so this is not coming out of the 004. This is through the HOA?
You're confusing Gateway with
You're-
Pebblebrook,
Totally separate.
totally separate. We are doing it through them, but it's totally separate
I
contract.
got you. Totally separate contract. Okay. What was the
What you
date you
got?
said would be done? I'm sorry.
In the past, we've done it twice a year, and to be honest with you, we'd have to talk to Mainscape to find out when we have left that up to them.
Okay, so Mainscape is the key.
Brian, do you know if they've been having problems getting pine straw?
I don't know. I know I saw semi-full the other day
Okay.
out here in a meeting over by Arborwood, so
That was a problem we had. We don't, in the villas, we do our just before Thanksgiving. And they said, no, they can't get it because Georgia, there was some, they get it out of Georgia and they couldn't get it. And then we thought it was gonna be mid-January, and then the week before Christmas, a trailer showed up with all of our mulch on it. Nobody knew it was coming. The state didn't know it was coming. And they had it, they come and they did it. They had this stuff too.
And he's talking specifically about Stone Valley,
Stone Valley
The
Loop,
loop.
our loop, yeah.
because they have their own sub-association and they
Yeah.
pay for that for
Okay.
the street. So we're talking Pebblebrook here when
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about that, and only Pebblebrook.
You can't afford to do it twice a year.
Just a quick follow-up. The the traffic engineer that has to come in, is that the next step in the process after or in the letter to the commissioner,
They,
sheriff, that kind of thing?
well, they will apply, once they get all that, they'll apply all, because it still has to go to the county commissioners.
I think,
But we've keyed Tony in and Tony, the attorney in, and he says, we pretty much have to do that. So we get that done. When that gets all done, then we go. And
I do want to, I'm not going to claim to know absolutely for sure, but just speaking from prior discussions in prior years, I know that Ed Tinkle opened this can of worms over in Gateway. Gateway has more than one entrance. It's a
Gateway
different
Greens,
Gateway Green.
yeah.
And it's a different kind of a situation. They own their own roads too.
Yeah, that is the big thing. That's why I told the board, if the HOA still own the roadways, this problem would be solved. Would have been done.
Well,
We already had it under 2006. So,
but Ed opened the can of worms for Gateway Greens though. That's their problem.
yeah,
And like I said, they have more than one way in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a private road has to meet the same requirements that a public road, but I'm sure
Yeah.
you're aware of, on a public road, they require every so many feet. If it's a through road, there has to be a no parking sign. We were not subject to that. So I don't know what the situation, I don't think we're really the same thing, is what I'm telling you.
if we give the jurisdiction to Lee County Sheriff, they're going to operate under the county rules on enforcement and stuff. So all that stuff has to meet the federal manual of uniform traffic control devices.
The county rules, but the county rules also have those kinds of exclusions in it for private communities that have one entrance.
Oh, well, that's,
And it's a little different.
yeah,
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
but when they come in for enforcement, that's totally, and all the talk that they were making there was strictly on enforcement, but the sheriff can't come in and enforce until he has jurisdiction. And the jurisdiction for traffic has to come from the county commissioners.
Mhm.
Now, he can come in, and people have seen the deputy driving through, he can do that, but technically he can't enforce traffic law. He can come in and do his patrol through, but because he don't have jurisdiction on our roadways or on any private road.
Okay, I really don't want to go down.
No,
that
no,
can of
no,
worms,
no,
that
no,
can
no.
never Go down that
Yeah,
pathway
yeah.
again. In any case, lost my train of thought. I did have something to say.
That would surprise me.
This whole thing with the parking, it just, this is 12 years old and we've,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
and
yes,
we really should be
yes.
dwelling on this because I think 29 or 9129 makes it quite clear. But that's another subject. I can't remember anything else. And you were going to say just on that subject?
Yeah,
Okay.
just wanted to confirm that situation with the letter.
And
Okay, and you will talk to Chad or somebody down there at the office about following up with the bills for FPL?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about that. I'm gonna also talk to him about getting his availability for a meeting with me, you, Warren, just sort of a pre-budget, so we're all on the same page type.
This is another set of copies if you want to give
Okay.
one to him so he can peruse them. Unfortunately, it's only one side of the page because there are two sides of that bill and I don't have the other side. Patty didn't give me both sides.
those pretty much. Excuse me, Brian, you presented a real nice booklet to the board, not this last meeting, but the meeting before, with the pictures where all these things were. Are those on a computer that we could get a copy of those with the meters and stuff?
With the aerators?
Yeah.
We have it on a file.
But it's not on a computer.
Yeah, Elle has it on her computer where we have on her Public Works file, one of our aerators.
Because that shows where everything is and stuff. And I don't think we have anything at the HOA that has that information. And that would be good information to have in case there's a problem. Have it in the office. And the brochure I saw that Tony, the attorney, showed me, because he was showing me some of the pictures, was really well put together. They had the pictures and stuff, and it showed exactly what it was and where they're at.
Yeah, Elle put that together.
Okay.
I would like to get back to that irrigation problem we had. Was there anybody at Gateway that could have just gone down there and shut that water off so it didn't run full blast all weekend long?
If they knew where the valve was at to shut it off, yes, but they might have shut the whole thing off
We
too.
looked in the box and we couldn't find anywhere to turn it off. George and I were there and we looked in that box and tried to find it. And we figured it was a valve that was thing. And we weren't going to touch the little stuff because I
know.
was screwed
The
up.
only thing we're trying to do is, like I say, with Jim being new as well, we're trying to get up to speed with Juan and Mainscape of where are all your shut offs, because if you're not aware of it, we got so many of these
Not just,
irrigation issues that are on timers. It's a nightmare. Our irrigation's a nightmare. Let's just say that. And I don't know where they're all at. Neither does Elle. I mean, few people, most of them are Mainscapes when everything's at because they've been here forever.
Well, the one
But-
distinction with us is that you own the road, we don't. And
Correct.
Most of the communities do have their own
Now-
roads, and I would think they would have somebody from their landscaping thing.
I will reach out to Juan to say, is there anybody on 24/7 call out that if you have this could come out and shut it off?
All righty, that's about all I got. If I forgot something, we'll catch it later somehow. I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, gonna give that one. Oh, boy. Chris gets the motion. Do I have a second? Who was the second? Virginia? I'm gonna give it to Virginia. All right, Virginia makes a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are done. And I want to thank you